What is going on, YouTube? What is happening? All of that good stuff. Greetings, season's greetings, because it is technically holiday time now, and that just is kind of crazy considering, I don't know, we just haven't posted a video, or anything for that matter, in way too long. Way too long. But we're back now, obviously, and we have some explaining to do. I have a lot of stuff to go over. And that's basically what the purpose of this video is going to be. And then sandwiched at the end of this video, I'm just going to go over the team that I'm going to be using for a lot of the beginning part of the Showdown battles that I'm going to be doing for 6th Gen. And it's going to be the first time I'm doing that, so that's pretty cool, I guess. But yeah, alright, so where the hell have we been for like 5 weeks or something like that? We haven't really posted anything. No blog posts, no new articles, no news, nothing. Videos, nada. It's been kind of ridiculous. But yeah, we've been working on the website and all that stuff. Now, that's not an excuse. I know you think it is, but it's not. And I want to show you, for those of you that knew what the website looked like before, and it was just a hot mess, like charcoal gray, and just, it was disgusting. Just not, well, I guess it wasn't disgusting, but yeah, it was just disorganized and just definitely a hot mess. And right now it's looking a lot better. We have a new banner up at the top. Sean touched up the logo a little bit, and we recentered things. We got some Nintendo characters going on in the back there. We've got some new tabs with new areas of the website with newly constructed pages for you guys to go to. We've got all kinds of articles out. A lot of these are older. Like I said, we have not released anything in quite a while. So some of this is old news. We're going to be replacing this with new stuff in the coming days and weeks as we transition from the behind-the-scenes coding of the website and all that stuff, which still isn't finished, by the way. As you can see, it still looks a little bit unorganized, still looks a little choppy in places. It's a lot more professional than it was before, and we have it headed in the right direction. But now we're going to be leaning more towards getting some more content out there for you guys and doing some more fun stuff, interaction, getting more videos out there, starting some new series, and just turning the page on a lot of the old stuff that we had and making everything so much better and more fun and all that fun stuff, I guess. Alright, so that's basically what's been going on. So now, from here on, you can expect videos to be resuming shortly, other than just the Showdown battles, which are basically just going to be like filler to hold you over as we tie up some loose ends and finally get things launched again, where we're posting just about daily as far as videos go. That's coming, but we're not quite there yet. In any case, some of the things that we have coming up, obviously we're going to be finishing up the Metroid Prime series. For those of you that have been following that and like that, we left off at episode 25, as you can see here, and I don't even think that it goes 30 episodes. I have the whole thing recorded already, so there's not that much more left to go on that, so we'll be wrapping that up in the coming weeks, as well as wrapping up our walkthrough of Pokemon White, which I don't think even has 10 episodes left, or it might have exactly 10 episodes left, something like that, really not that much. So we should be able to wrap that up fairly quickly as well, and then we can move on to bigger and better things. And I really want to jump on this Pokemon X and Y bandwagon, like totes. Yeah, I just said that. I want to jump on and just not let go, because this thing has been a monster, and this game was hyped up like crazy, and it really has lived up to it, and I'm really happy it did, because I didn't have the highest expectations, honestly. But that's a discussion for another time. So what else do we have planned? We're going to be doing a lot of X and Y stuff, obviously. We don't have a capture card right now, and that's kind of a problem, because I wanted to do Wi-Fi battles, and I've been doing a lot of Wi-Fi battles on my own, because obviously I have the game and I've beaten it and all that. And yeah, I've been doing some competitive battling, just kind of on the side, doing some Wi-Fi here and there, nothing like crazy. I've got some teams, got some IV bred Pokemon, all that good stuff. So there's that. Now, the thing that I really wanted to talk about, and this is probably the last thing we're going to talk about before I get into the Showdown stuff, which is what this episode, I guess if you can call it an episode, it's not really an episode of anything, but what this video was supposed to be about. But nonetheless, a lot of you who are watching this video probably have taken part or at least heard about what we were doing earlier, and we were kind of doing like a quiet little giveaway session, and I guess it shouldn't be using that in past tense because we're still doing it. It's still going on. We just got so many requests. It was awesome. We just kind of had this random idea, like it would be so cool, you know, to help us kickstart the re-release of everything and us getting back out there in order to get some more interaction and get everybody to come together and, you know, really enjoy the unfolding of the giant, just amazing metagame that is Pokemon X and Y and the competitive play, the Wi-Fi battling, all of that stuff. We thought the best way to do that was to do a little giveaway, and because the backbone of all of that stuff relies around the new breeding prospect and how easy it is to get IV bred Pokemon, but also how tedious it is, and it really adds up. So I guess in essence, even though it's shorter per Pokemon, it still is very time consuming and it can be difficult at times. And then there's the actual battling itself. So we thought it would be awesome if we could just give away a lot of Pokemon and do all the work ourselves and not really get anything out of it in order to just give back to you guys and really make a positive, impression on the community. And it's not a huge thing by any means, but just today alone, we gave away over 65 IV bred Pokemon, as well as shinies. We gave away hidden ability Pokemon. We just custom bred for just about everyone that asked. And if we didn't get to you, I'm sorry, but there's only 2 of us that were working on the stuff today. So unfortunately, we could not get to the hundreds of messages that we got requesting shinies and all kinds of like crazy stuff that is just impossible for 2 people to get. But I feel like we've done a pretty good job getting to most people. I want to say we got to about like 65-70% of the people that messaged us today. And we're continuing to fill those requests as we speak. This is most likely going to go through the weekend, obviously through tomorrow, because tomorrow's Sunday. And it'll probably spill over into the middle of the week as well, as we try to wrap up a lot of these requests. Those of you that have requested shiny Pokemon, if we have promised that we're going to get them for you, you're going to get them. It just might take a while. Some of them have to be Masuda bred. Others we just have lying around. Others we've gotten through trades. So, yeah, there's all that stuff that goes into it. But really the only thing that we were asking in return was that you guys subscribe to our channel, because we just want the opportunity to be able to get our content in front of you and really create a little mini community. I want you guys to be able to interact with each other, start some battles, get some trading going, trade some friend codes for Friend Safari, all that kind of stuff. We want all that going on, and we're going to be rewarding that as well, because the names that we see popping up the most, such as on our Facebook, commenting on our posts, writing on our page, tweeting at us, commenting on our videos, commenting on our blog posts, our articles, the news pages, all that stuff, emailing us, suggesting, whatever. The more we see you involved and making a positive impact, the higher the chance that you're going to win some of the giveaways that we have coming up, including very special and rare shiny Pokemon, shiny IV bred Pokemon that are viable for competitive battling that we are working on, and some of them that we have ready already. And in addition to that, there's going to be extra giveaways, like for those of you that have not gotten into the X and Y scene yet and want to. We're going to be making that happen for at least 1 or 2 of you. What I would like to do would be to give away at least 1 copy of Pokemon X and Y, perhaps 1 of each version. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to go, but whether you're less fortunate or you just weren't sure about the game or you don't have a 3DS or whatever the reason may be, could be any number of reasons. If you want to get in on the action and you decide that you like the game, you want to try it, we want to make that happen for you. So we're going to try to at least positively impact somebody, at least one person, in that way by getting the game to them ourselves. So that's going to be one of the things. Like I said, the Pokemon giveaways, we'll be giving away probably Battle Maison items like ability capsules and stuff that's really tedious to get. We really want to reward you guys for creating a great environment and just getting involved in our stuff. We want to make it worth your while, and we want to just have like an awesome freaking time. Learn a lot, all that good stuff, all that fairy tales, stupid sounding stuff. That's what we're aiming for. And we're just going to make this freaking kick ass. Us together. That's how we do it. Alright, well, I think that's all I wanted to talk about as far as that stuff goes. I'm probably missing something, and I may have to go over that later. But I can't think of anything else at the moment. I think I'll stop rambling on about that, and we can get on into the showdown stuff and get off this boring screen, because I've just been making you stare at it, and you're probably wanting to punch Mario in the face right now because he looks kind of smug. Doesn't he? He looks smug. This smug bastard sometimes. Alright, on to the Showdown website, which is what we were on before if you didn't recognize the screen. I love Showdown. Showdown is amazing. I can't believe I just didn't find out about it until, like, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago or something. Yeah, I don't know why I never knew that existed. And I always considered myself, like, really savvy with everything that was going on in the Pokemon world, but apparently I was gravely mistaken. Anywho, most of what we're competing in is just the OU tier, not Pokebank, none of that stuff. Not yet, at least. We'll be getting into that probably after it's actually released, which is, I believe, the 25th, I want to say, which is Christmas. Yeah. It's kind of far away, honestly. I don't know, 4 weeks? Something like that? 3 weeks? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. So here we go. I'm going to be using, for the first couple of battles at least, or maybe more than that, I'm going to be using the team that I have built on my actual game. And there's some little changes that I made here and there. Some of them are actually pretty significant, but for the most part, this is the exact same team that I'm using on Wi-Fi. So if you have battled me, either by accident or by chance, or we've actually organized it, or we're friends or whatever, you've probably seen me use this team, and I don't know how you fare. On Wi-Fi, I've done amazing. I've tested this out on Showdown so far, and it's been kind of 50-50. So part of that is that Wi-Fi just has bad players a lot of times, and it's just not as even. And the other part of that is that I just have been playing very poorly on Showdown, so there's also that. So I'm sure there's some medium middle ground in there somewhere, and I'll find it. But anyway, on to what I have going on for my team here. Obviously, if you can see, I've got Ninetales, Charizard, Sawsbuck, Rape the Sableye, which for those of you that watched some of my Showdown battles from before or fought me before, you know that that is a staple. I love Rape the Sableye. Rape returns. And then we have Arcanine and Heliolisk rounding out this kind of strangely lopsided Sun team. And the most glaring thing that you'll probably notice is that I've got 3 fire types. One of them is Charizard, and I have no Rapid Spinner on this team, and that just seems like a huge weakness, and a very stupid weakness, a very avoidable weakness. But surprisingly, most of the time I'm able to play around it, and I'm able to win by a pretty decent margin, or just have Stealth Rocks not really be a factor so much. Of course, that doesn't always happen. Sometimes I just get outplayed like crazy, or I just misplay like crazy, or some combination of the two. And, you know, it's just not enough to save me from the Stealth Rock weakness. But I like this team. It's kind of randomly thrown together except for the first 2 members. And I think what I want to do is just mess around with it and just put in a couple of other Pokemon here and there and see how it goes. But anyway, let's get on to explaining what I actually have going on here. So I've got the two weather inducers for the sun. We've got Ninetales, and then we've got Charizard. So we'll go with Ninetales first. It obviously has the Drought ability, and I gave it the Heat Rock, which actually works with Drought, which I really honestly didn't know until not that long ago that it stacked. I don't know why, but with the mechanic change in Gen 6, there's no such thing as perma-weather anymore. Pokemon with Drought and Drizzle and Sandstream is just not indefinite until the weather is changed. It only lasts 5 turns. So now the Heat Rock and Smooth Rock and all that stuff can be used to increase it to 8 turns, which kind of, sort of, compensates for the nerf. Sort of. But it still makes it kind of predictable, easy to play around in some cases, and you need a decent amount of skill to be able to make it work. So I like the challenge. In any case, this Ninetales is a specially defensive set. It's got 252 EVs in HP and special defense respectively, and then I just dumped the last 4 into special attack. Wasn't really sure what exactly to do with that. I guess I could have put it in speed, but it really doesn't make that much of a difference. Like I said, I have the Heat Rock on Ninetales to increase the amount of sun turns to 8 instead of the standard 5. Then for moves, I've got Flamethrower, which is pretty much a standard move for Ninetales. Unfortunately, Flamethrower's power did get nerfed, and so did Fire Blast, down to 90 and then 110, respectively. Personally, I don't like the accuracy trade-off because my luck is awful, just absolutely disgustingly awful. So I tend to stick with Flamethrower because it's just more reliable. Also, I've got Will-O-Wisp to help Ninetales better deal with rock and ground types and just physical attackers in general, because Ninetales is pretty not bulky at all. Its stats are very less than stellar, and really the only reason to use it at all is because of its ability Drought. So Will-O-Wisp helps it deal with rock and ground types a little bit better, like I said, and also Azumarill, because burning it is just like a godsend. So, alright, moving on, we also have Solar Beam, which covers all of Ninetales' weakness, actually. Helps get rid of water types as well as rock and ground. And then we've got Substitute. This last move slot is kind of up in the air. You can, I guess, put Toxic in there if you really wanted to do the dual status. Probably not recommended to do that. Hypnosis is another thing, but its accuracy is just piss poor. I guess you could also do Nasty Plot if you wanted to do some kind of offensive set, but with the EVs that I'm running on this Ninetales, Nasty Plot would make absolutely no sense, so I'm not going to do that. You could also use Calm Mind, Confuse Ray, Dark Pulse. I'm not going to go into all of them. But these are the main moves that I like to use with Ninetales most of the time. The only other one that I can think of that might be kind of sort of useful would be Protect. If you wanted to go the stalling route, although stalling with Burn is kind of iffy. So Substitute works. It protects Ninetales from status, which is important because there's no recovery on this thing, and I have no Wish Passer. So, that was a mouthful. I'm going to go a little faster probably through the rest of these guys because, I don't know, I'm just dragging this on and kind of rambling. And by kind of, I mean definitely rambling. Alright, we got Charizard here. On my actual cartridge game, and what you've seen in Wi-Fi, if you've seen it at all, I do not have solar power on that Charizard. I do on this one, though, because I wanted to try it, and it seemed like a decent idea, considering I have a Sun team, after all. And it's been working out fairly well so far, so we'll see how things go as I continue to test it out. EVs are exactly the same, with 252 in speed and special attack, 4 in HP. Pretty standard for a special sweeper, pretty standard Charizard set. I also have the Y Megastone, so I can get the Mega Evolution there, and also get the Drought. I do not get 8 turns from it because I don't have the opportunity to run the Heat Rock like with Ninetales, but it works pretty well nonetheless. So I'm thinking the whole solar power thing, honestly, is going to work out pretty well now that I think about it, because you basically get added like choice specs power, while instead of not being able to switch moves, you can switch moves and you just lose a little HP each turn. So I guess it's a bit of a trade-off. And it can really damage Charizard in the long run as far as longevity when coupled with Stealth Rocks. So I need to be careful with that. Alright, so the moves here, we've got Flamethrower, again another standard move, does a lot of damage with solar power and also just in the sun in general, especially with the 150 plus something special attack of Charizard Y. It's just crazy. We've got Roost for recovery. A lot of times I don't get the chance to use that because Charizard's pretty frail with this EV setup, but sometimes it can be useful. So I run that just cuz. We've also got Dragon Pulse as a general coverage move. It does good neutral damage to a lot of different pokes, as well as super effective damage on other dragons who resist Flamethrower and Solar Beam. And then, of course, the last move slot, I've got Solar Beam to get rid of most of what would be super effective on Charizard. So it does pretty good, pretty good. All right, moving on. Oh yes, also another change before I move on here is that I run Timid on this Charizard, so the plus speed nature. I believe on Wi-Fi I run Modest, so I guess it's a little bit of a difference. But anyway, moving on, we've got Sawsbuck next, and this is going to be my fast physical sweeper. It's got 252 speed and attack EVs. I put 4 into special defense. It doesn't really matter, I guess. I kind of wanted to do HP, but it's really not that big of a difference. This is pretty much the exact same set. In fact, it is the exact same set that I run on Wi-Fi. I've got the Lumberry to help prevent status while Sawsbuck sets up with Swords Dances. It's great for getting rid of burn in a pinch. If you get screwed over by stupid flame body, Talonflames and Volcaronas and such. Or stupid Pokemon like Blissey that want to use Toxic on you. So it can be your saving grace in a pinch. I've also got Horn Leech and Double Edge as the main stab moves of choice. Double Edge does a crap ton of damage to anything that does not resist it. Or, of course, ghost types that are just completely immune to it. Got Horn Leech for recovery there, so that's pretty nice. And then the last moveset, or the last move slot is pretty much up for grabs, I guess. You could run Synthesis in the sun. It would do a lot of recovery. I think like 66% or something like that. You could do Nature Power, but I'm pretty sure that's Tri-Attack in this generation, so that wouldn't make a lot of sense, actually. I don't know why that's a viable move. But nonetheless, Return is a pretty good choice for normal stab as well, without the recoil, but Double Edge just does way more damage. And personally, I think that's what's worth it. Without Chlorophyll, Substitute is usually run on Sawsbuck, but I'm forgoing that for the opportunity to be able to damage steel types a little bit better. Especially Pokemon like Ferrothorn, which are extremely annoying. But this Sawsbuck is incredibly, and surprisingly powerful. And then with Chlorophyll, with the sun up, it outspeeds everything that's not priority pretty much. So it's just insane, and it catches a lot of people off guard. So anyway, moving on, we've got Sableye here. Rape the Sableye. And this thing rapes so many things that it's not even fair. It is ridiculous, and it's almost like having a Mega Evolution. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. It's really not. Mega Gengar and Mega Kangaskhan are way worse than this thing. Way more scary. But if you play this thing right, Rape the Sableye can really just completely rape you, honestly. It's got Foul Play, which just completely catches a lot of battlers off guard, I've noticed. I don't know why. I mean, it's a pretty standard move on Sableye, but most players just don't predict it, and I don't know why. I guess they're expecting like Knockoff or Nightshade maybe. But I love to run Foul Play, especially in this meta where everything is trying to increase its attack. Aegislash loves to use Swords Dance, so does Talonflame, and then, I mean, you've got the Mega Kangaskhan that likes to do the power-up punch and gets 2 boosts with that, and then before Blaziken was banned, he liked to use Swords Dance as well. So Foul Play uses their own attack stat against them and just doesn't worry about Sableye, so you can be burned and it still does the same amount of damage. It also ignores the opposing Pokemon burn, so you can Will-O-Wisp them and then still kill them with Foul Play pretty easily, so that's pretty awesome. While I'm on that topic, Will-O-Wisp is probably Sableye's best move. With its ability Prankster, it has priority because it's a status move, so it most of the time is going to go first, unless you're facing something that either has extreme speed, which should not be using it on Sableye to begin with, or Talonflame, because Talonflame has Gale Wings, which gives priority to its flying type moves like Acrobatics and Brave Bird, and they pretty much just own you in that sense. Yeah, Talonflame just destroys Rape the Sableye. Rape gets raped by Talonflame for sure. He can't do anything to it, really. The only thing he can do is hope he goes for a Swords Dance and Foul Play him to death. Kills him in one hit, but if he doesn't do that, then yeah, you're pretty much screwed. Nonetheless, this thing can stall like crazy. It has lefties, obviously, for recovery. It also has Moonlight, which, even though it has a lot less PP than Recover, which is also an option through Egg moves, Moonlight is just the better option because of the fact that I'm running a Sun team, and I'm able to recover 66% of my HP most of the time between Ninetales and Charizard, alternating in and out. Ninetales with that Heat Rock, keeping things warm and toasty on the field. Rape just soaks it up. He loves it. Yum yum. I don't know why I said that. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. This video's going on too long, I think. I'm not used to this. I'm a little rusty. So anyway, that pretty much rounds out Sableye's set with Protect there. That's his last move. It pretty much allows him to stall, lets him get Leftovers recovery. It's good for stalling out opponents that use moves that do not have a lot of PP, like Hydro Pump, that save Pokemon like Ninetales and Charizard from taking them later on in the match, or taking them as many times, which is also great. Racks up the burn damage, so it seems like Rape could easily get raped himself, but it just very rarely works out that way, and usually it's able to stall out and take out at least one thing before it goes down itself, which is awesome. Moving on, finally. I totally said I was going to go faster this half, and it's gone like twice as slow. Ugh, I lied. I'm a liar. Alright, Arcanine is next. And I love Arcanine. I've loved Arcanine since Gen 1. He's just an amazing Pokemon. It has great stats. And for most of his competitive career, I guess if you want to call it that, he just hasn't had the moveset to make use of his awesome stats. And finally, last gen, he got some decent moves. He got Close Combat, Morning Sun through, I think it was, yeah, Egg moves. I was like, how did I even get Morning Sun on this Arcanine? But I remember breeding it, so yeah, there's that. He also gets Extreme Speed. He's gotten that since, I think, Gen 2 when it was introduced. So there's that. And Flare Blitz as well, rounding out the set. So obviously this is going to be a physical Arcanine. I've got quite a few special attackers on here, so I needed another physical attacker to make it a little bit more balanced. And this thing is Life Orbed. So in the sun, with Flare Blitz and Life Orb, it kills pretty much everything in one hit that does not resist it. Almost everything. Not quite everything, but almost everything. You do have to watch out for King's Shield from Aegislash, which is a new move that's exclusive to Aegislash. It's his signature move, and it pretty much is the same thing as Protect, except it also lowers your attack by 2 stages. If you make physical contact with a move, and of course all of Arcanine's moves do that. Although I don't think it activates if you use a move that's not affected by that type, so if I were to use Extreme Speed on him, it wouldn't work. But that's besides the point. Extreme Speed is +2 in priority, so that's awesome for even taking out things like Mega Pinsir that love to spam Quick Attack. You do have extra priority over him, so you can pick it off if it's weakened. Close Combat is perfect for taking out Tyranitar. In a lot of cases, it does catch him off guard. And again, I don't know why, because it's a pretty standard move for Arcanine to run close combat. It's not as common for them to run Crunch or Wild Charge, which are also pretty decent coverage moves, but just Psychic types are just so bad defensively lately that Crunch just really isn't worth it. It's not going to do nearly as much as Flare Blitz in the Sun, so close combat is there almost exclusively to just annihilate Tyranitar, which otherwise could be quite a big problem for my team, especially because I'm heavy on special attackers, and with Assault Vest and Sandstorm, and yeah, Tyranitar can just be a nightmare for my team. So Arcanine is there to take care of that. Sawsbuck can also one-hit KO with Jump Kick, but it's for some reason a little bit more unexpected when Arcanine comes in and close combats it. Not sure why. I feel like that's predictable, but I don't know. Sometimes I've just lost on stupid plays too, and afterwards you just like, whatever. Alright, moving on yet again, we got Heliolisk, and that's my last Pokemon. It is a new Pokemon this gen. It is normal and electric. I thought I should just throw in at least one Gen 6 Pokemon. I mean, come on. Seriously. I gotta show it some love. So, yeah, I don't have a choice user on my team. I don't have a band. I don't have a Scarfer. So I'm like, Heliolisk would make a good, whatchamacallit, choice specs user. There we go. I had a total brain fart there for a second. Story of my life. Alright, I don't know why the hell this is Dry Skin. I think I took it out of my team and put it back on there, but it should be Solar Power. The one that I use on Wi-Fi is also Solar Power. Obviously, it'd just be idiotic for me to use Dry Skin, although I have used it a couple times by accident here on Showdown. Yes, laugh, snicker. But anyway, yeah, so Charizard and Heliolisk are running the same ability. Works just fantastic, especially with Volt Switch there at the bottom. It enables him to get the boost from Solar Power and then not take the damage unless, of course, he gets Volt blocked by a ground type, usually Excadrill, from my experience. Excadrill and Garchomp love to come in on Volt Switches. That's why I also have Hidden Power Ice. Doesn't really do anything to Excadrill, but it almost will always one-hit KO Garchomp, and I think probably the only time that I've seen it not one-hit KO him was when he was running Assault Vest. Unless I'm just losing my mind, and that's not even true. But, yeah, feel free to call me stupid if that's not right. The calculations are off there. In any case, I've also got Grass Knot on this thing, so it can do a pretty decent amount to Tyranitar as well. It's not going to kill him, especially not in Sandstorm. But it does a pretty decent amount. It can also do some damage to Rhyperior, as well as Golem, although I've almost never seen Golem in OU. And then I've also got Thunderbolt in case I do need to stay in and not use a momentum move like Volt Switch to switch out. It gives me a little bit more power, has 90 base power instead of Volt Switch's 70. They both have perfect accuracy, so there's no difference there. And for EVs, I don't think I went over that. It's pretty much the same as Charizard. I've got 4 in HP, and then 252 in special attack and speed. So most of the time, I'm using Volt Switch with the choice specs because I just don't like getting locked into moves with this thing. And a lot of cases, if there are hazards up on the field, that's a problem for me. So switching back and forth just sometimes is good and sometimes isn't. I guess it depends on the hazard. Again, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. That rounds out my team. I thought I would show you guys that and just explain a little bit. Because why not? It's the first time I'm going to be doing battles on my channel for 6th Gen, at least until we get the capture card going. But in any case, yeah, I look forward to some battles coming up. If you want to battle me on Showdown, feel free to send us a message right on our Facebook wall. You can also tweet at us or message us on YouTube or whatever you want to do. There are like 8,000 ways to get a hold of us. We're monitoring everything all the time because we're crazy, insane people. So if you need to reach us, chances are we will respond pretty quickly. So if you want to set something up, if you want to trade with us, whatever you want to do, we're open to it. Like I said, the more you're interacting, not just with us, but with everybody else, and contributing, and getting this thing going, and just bringing the community over to the dark side. No, this isn't the dark side. It's the cool side. Once we get that over here, we're going to have a great time. Just have some great stuff going on. Hopefully, we can continue to give back and just show you guys how awesome we think you are, and go from there. The sky's the limit. Yes. Alright, well I guess that's it for this video. I don't really know what else to ramble on about. I've rambled about just about everything you can ramble about, but I guess I just missed talking to you guys. Maybe that was it. Alright, well, I will be back next time with the very first episode / Pokemon Showdown 6th Gen OU Beta Battle. Yeah, that. So I'll see you then. Game on.